I feel like my breath is always being held. And despite some amazing things happening around me into my business, I still feel like I'm not allowing myself to fully receive, which is stopping the speed of change. I want you to think about how good you are at holding pleasure in your body. When we're people who are very good with the mind and very cerebral, we're not always brilliant at holding pleasure in the body. What your question feels like to me is that amazing things are happening and they're feeling good, but you're not allowing them to feel better and hold more pleasure in your body. Now, what is really, really important with this is I want you to practice. It sounds bizarre, but you know me well enough now. We've worked together for ages. I want you to practice feeling pleasure in your body. So I was doing a session with a womb shaman last night, and we were talking about this, about the fact that I'm being guided just to allow more and more to come in, more power, more impact, more wealth, all of it. And I was saying to her, I still don't think I'm brilliant at holding pleasure in my body. So I can hold pleasure and release it quickly, like with the way that I exercise or yoga or movement, but I'm not brilliant at allowing pleasure to build up and build up in my body. So what I've been practicing is holding more and more pleasure. So say, I'm going to give you examples for me because I think they're going to be applicable for you. So say I want to stretch because my body feels like it wants to stretch. I tend to stretch like this. Oh, done. Right. There's a different energy of stretching and moving and feeling all of that pleasure and being in the feminine as you move through. Yeah. Can you see how that translates to the way that we receive money, like in, out, opportunities in, out, but we're asking you to hold more in your body. One of my private clients asked me about what that 7 figures represented for me. And I said, it's the ability to be able to hold more in my body. That's ultimately what it doesn't represent. I'm proud of it, but it doesn't represent more value. It represents that I'm able to hold more in my body. But you've got to be able to hold more fear, yeah, more pleasure. We're holding things in our body. We're energetic containers. You want to hold more wealth, more clients, you've got to be able to hold it all. Yours comes down to pleasure. I want you to think about when you're on a massage table, if you're ever on one, and are you like, you don't let yourself go there with the pleasure, you're still in your head working out the list, you're not being with your body. I want you to think about it in all areas. You can think about it with sex, you can think about it with anything where it's experiencing pleasure. Do you fully allow yourself to be with the pleasure, or are you quite keen for the transient experience of it to be over so you can go back to your head? Because I've always been defaulted to that. You want to hold more, receive more, you need to practice holding and receiving more in your body, particularly in your root and your sacral. So what often happens is a lot comes in through the crown and then it forms like a kind of triangle where it all gets caught at the bottom. We're not very good at holding it in our root and holding it in our sacral, grounding it into the human. But what happens, you get a bottleneck of energy there. We want to open it up. We want to practice holding pleasure in the root, holding pleasure in the root, the womb, holding pleasure in the sacral. I want you to imagine that you are this vessel and you're working on holding pleasure. This is why people do a lot of work around sex and womb and activation. They're basically, in essence, widening their lower chakras so they can receive more, because it makes sense. You give me a funnel like that, I can receive a certain amount. Give me a funnel like that, it's very different. So that's what I want you to do. I want you to practice holding pleasure in your body, practice receiving more in your body, practice receiving generally. Gratitude, help, support, guidance. And the more you can hold, the more you'll be able to receive from your business. I'm convinced of it.